Week 12 of the college football season is upon us. We got some great games, big spreads. I got a lot to go over. Let's get straight into it. 12 o'clock, we got Clemson versus Pittsburgh. Now, they are both 7-2. Clemson has looked very shaky this year, but has only really lost to higher levels of competition. Georgia in week 1, Louisville a few weeks back. Pittsburgh started out 7-0, was looking real strong, and now has kind of fallen off. They've lost 2 games in a row, have not looked great thus far. This game is not a playoff game necessarily, but it's very close to one. Both of these teams want a chance at the ACC championship. Right now, neither of them is going to play in the ACC championship, but they want at least a chance to play in the ACC championship. Whoever loses this game is not playing in the ACC championship. That's a fact. So they're both trying for their life here. It's a 10-point spread. Clemson's favored by 10. And to a certain extent, it's too many points. It's way too many points for Clemson. Clemson is dog shit. But I feel that Vegas has a lean on this game. Why would Clemson be 10-point favorites on the road if Vegas wasn't comfortable with Clemson being 10-point favorites on the road? Clemson's not that good, but neither is Pitt. Simply put, I got Clemson to win. I got Clemson to cover. I'm not betting this game because there's no fucking way I am going to put my hard-earned money on fucking Clemson. That's for sure. But for the pick, I got Clemson to cover. I got Clemson to win. Not that they're the better team. It's that they're getting backed by Vegas. The spread is too big. The spread is way too big. I don't see why you would want Clemson as this big of favorites, giving Pitt 10 points at home. Too many points. I'm taking Clemson to win. I'm taking Clemson to cover, but I'm not betting this game. I don't feel super comfortable with it, so no bet for me. Lean, I should say. Clemson minus 10. Next game, Texas versus Arkansas. You guys all know by now I love Texas. I got a lot of money riding on Texas. I don't have to go over this again. I am very nervous for this game. Arkansas at home is dangerous. Arkansas beat Tennessee this year. They played a lot of teams very strong. They had their moments, like they got the shit kicked out of them by Ole Miss a couple weeks ago. But they have their moments. They play relatively well. I'm nervous. I really am. But, how can I be nervous about this game if this ain't shit compared to what's about to come? 2 weeks from now, Texas has Texas A&M, and chances are they're going to be in the SEC championship, assuming they don't blow this shit, or the next week against Kentucky. Texas is the better team, flat out. Arkansas is dangerous, but Texas has the better offense. Texas has the better defense. I am confident. I am ridiculously confident that Texas will understand how vital a game like this is. And similar to last week, they need that authoritative win. They need to come out there and slap the fucking dog shit out of Arkansas. Literally, ba 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 ba, right? Conor McGregor style. Ilya Top-Toro. Texas is going to win. Texas is going to cover. They're going to win by God knows how many points. I'm taking Texas by manslaughter. I'm taking Texas by 1,000,000. Texas is going to beat the living dog shit out of Arkansas. With all due respect to Arkansas, I actually really like this team. I bet on them quite often this season, but they are not on the level of the kings of the SEC. Not on their level. Texas is going to win. Texas is going to cover. I'm not betting this game, not because I'm not confident, but because I already have like a future on Texas, and I don't think there's enough value here to bet on the spread. 14 points on the road is a lot. I'm not overly confident, and quite frankly, I could see Arkansas covering. You know, they're not going to win, but they can cover. So I'm not going to bet this game because there's no value taking Texas money line. It's like, what, minus 1,000 or some shit like that. And then the spread is obviously humongous as well. Texas wins. Texas covers. Texas wins big. Texas is winning the whole thing. You will see. You will see. Next game. I'll talk about this one too. I'm not betting it, but fuck it, it's a big game. Utah versus Colorado. Colorado is 11.5-point favorites against Utah. Utah's 4-5. Their season's all but over. They've had a massive collapse. They've been 4-0. and now they're fucking 4-5. Last week they should have won. I guess you could say fucked over by the refs. But nevertheless, an L is an L. Colorado, on the other hand, they are rolling. They are 7-2 and have an actual chance to play in the Big 12 championship, upset, assuming it's going to be BYU, and make it to the college football playoff. Coach Prime in the bright lights in the CFP. Oh, the NCAA is watering at the mouth thinking about how much money they're going to bring in if that happens. But we got to get there when we get there. Pretty simply put, Colorado will win this game. But based on the performance from Utah last week, and this quarterback kid they brought out, he's like a third string or whatever, he is good. He's confident. He's a big boy. He can play well. I don't think Utah is capable of winning this game, but I do believe Utah is capable of keeping it close. That is why I'm going to have Utah to cover, Colorado to win. Now that I think about it, I am going to bet this game. I'm going to bet Utah to cover. I am. Maybe not a full unit, like a half unit. I'll sprinkle something on it. But Utah will cover. Their quarterback, this third stringer, is actually pretty good. Maybe they found something with him. Colorado, it's very hit or miss with them because they're very offensive centric. If the offense is not going, then it's going to be a bad day for them because defense is not that great. And Utah has a pretty good defense as well. Utah's not a bad team on paper. They just collapse for some reason. Utah covers, Colorado wins. I'm going to sprinkle a little something on Utah. They actually impressed me last week with the way they played. It was quite surprising. Next game, Boston College versus SMU. Good game here, good game. SMU has to win out. They want to make it to the ACC championship. And I truly believe this SMU team is stupid dangerous. Stupid. If I'm Miami, I am shaking in my boots. Shaking in my boots. Thinking I have to play this SMU team in the ACC championship. I can 1000% see SMU upsetting the shit out of Miami in that ACC championship. With that being said, we're not there yet. BC is trash. Bill O'Brien is horrible, dating all the way back to when he was a coach at the Texans. SMU is going to come out there and pummel them. Pummel them. This is a kind of a tough trip, I guess you could say. I mean, Boston to fucking Texas is not too difficult, but nevertheless, SMU is the better team, flat out. They're going to go out there. They're going to win. They're going to cover. I am confident as hell. I don't know if I'm going to bet a full unit, maybe like 0.7, 0.8. I'm definitely more confident in SMU covering than I am in Utah, but you'll see the next game I'm going to predict is probably my game of the week. I'm definitely not as confident in this game as I am in that game. SMU wins. SMU covers. I'll probably be betting on SMU minus 19, whatever the spread may be. I think SMU pummels BC. BC's not all that good. Offense is lackluster. Defense is lackluster. Nothing special about BC this year. They started off relatively well, but SMU's going up. BC's going down. You guys know how it goes when shit like this happens. I got SMU to win. I got SMU to cover. Next game. This game, probably my favorite game of the week, Louisville versus Stanford. I'll get this right off the bat. Louisville is winning this game. I'm a lunatic, but I'm not that big of a lunatic. But I got Stanford to cover the spread. Right now, the spread is 20.5. It's worrisome to a certain extent, right? It's a lot. I may buy that point up to 21, half a point, right? To feel a little bit more comfortable. Obviously, 21 is more of a key number in football than 20. But I'm confident enough to put down 20.5, 20, even 19.5. Not that Louisville is a bad team. Stanford is a bad team. But the travel is key in this game. It is key. Kentucky to Cali is a tough-ass trip. This game is being played at 3:30 as well. It becomes a little bit more difficult for Louisville because they have to adjust their body clock. We're getting into fucking science bullshit, and I'm not a fucking scientist. The travel is difficult. I like Stanford to cover this game. I truly believe Stanford could keep it close, even if they lose by 10, 14. They're covering. So I'm confident enough to take the 20 points with Stanford. even though they're 2-7, Louisville 6-3, probably the best 3-loss team right now in the entire nation. But something about the travel in this game makes me so confident in Stanford. I am betting this game, and I am betting it heavy. It is one of my favorite games this week. I got Stanford plus 20.5 or whatever the fucking spread may be at the time of closing. I am very confident Stanford will cover this game. Louisville will win. Louisville is winning this team. Again, 2-7 is not appropriate. This team is horrible. Stanford is. Louisville 6-3. They're still kind of in it, but not really. Louisville wins this game, but they will not cover. Stanford covers the spread. I'm confident as hell. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's my favorite play of the week. Next game. One of the better games of the week, if not like the best. LSU versus Florida. This game is super weird because right now the spread is 4 points in favor of LSU. So, what that tells me is that all the rumors about DJ Langway, DJ Ugwe, whatever the fuck his name is, he is going to play. A 4-point spread based on Florida's performance last week is insane. Insane. If he doesn't play and the spread is 4, bet your fucking life savings on LSU. That's not financial advice. Don't fucking actually do it. LSU would beat the living shit out of Florida if Langway's not playing. If he is playing, which it seems like he is, I'm reading everywhere, he's practicing, he's gearing up to play. This spread makes sense. And with that being said, I think this Florida team with Langway is dangerous as hell. They are coming off a tough L. Both of these teams are coming off very tough L. But LSU was healthy for the most part. Florida was not. A lot of Florida's key players are either on pace to come back or are going to come back in this game. And for that reason, I'm going with Florida, man. LSU is shit. Brian Kelly is shit. You can keep making all the excuses and arguments for him, making excuses and arguments for LSU. I picked LSU to beat Alabama. And that's the dumbest fucking decision I've ever fucking made. That woke me the fuck up last week. Florida with DJ Langway, Ugwe, whatever the hell, is going to win. They're going to cover. I mean, obviously they're underdogs, so if they win, they do cover. And I'm betting it. I'm not betting them to win. I'm not that confident. +4, I am for sure betting Florida, for sure. But relatively speaking, my cover is confident. I believe Florida will cover, no doubt, and even win. My official pick is going to be Florida to cover, Florida to win. With Langway, they are the better team. They are a more disciplined team. Brian Kelly is a shit head coach, and Billy Napier, whatever the fuck his name is for Florida, is also a shit head coach, but I'm telling you right now, he is not as bad as Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's horrible, horrible. He should not be coaching LSU. LSU should fucking hire the fucking guy from Indiana. They should literally pay him anything he wants, give him the keys to the fucking state, whatever the hell he needs. Florida wins, Florida covers. I am betting it, and I am pretty confident in it. Next one. Arizona State versus Kansas State. Kansas State is so fucking overrated, and the fact that they are 8-point favorites in this game is obnoxious. I get it. Kansas State is pretty good, blah, blah, blah. They're at home, all this bullshit. Arizona State has the same exact record as Kansas State. So why exactly is Kansas State being so goddamn overrated week in and week out? It's too many points. You guys already know where I'm going with this. It's too many goddamn points. I'm betting this one, and I'm betting it pretty hard probably. Arizona State +8 is so easy. I mean, how in the world is this Kansas State going to blow Arizona State out the water? There's no way. This is going to be a one-possession game. With that being said, I have this weird feeling inside of me that even though Arizona State plays their asses off, covers the spread, they will lose. That's the true belief I have. Kansas State will win. But guess what? In my case, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't give a fuck about either of these teams. I have Arizona State to cover. As long as Arizona State either wins or loses by less than 8 points, I'm happy. I'm happy. Arizona State has the best head coach of all time. If you haven't heard this guy speak, go listen to him speak. I want to run through a brick wall listening to this guy. I might have to fly to Arizona State and become this fucking guy's kicker. If that's what it takes. If that's what it takes. Arizona State, +8. Kansas State, money line. I am betting Arizona State spread. I am stupid confident in this one as well. I love this game. Arizona State is a really good football team. Don't sleep on them. I'm telling you. Next game. Oregon versus Wisconsin. In a bit of a low spread, as crazy as that sounds, 14 points is low. It really is. Oregon's 10-0. They're hot as fuck. The best team in the nation. Wisconsin's like a lonely 5-4. You know, they've been inconsistent. Sometimes they're shit. Sometimes they're not. 14 points is weird, though. Weird. Oregon's winning this one. I mean, that's self-explanatory. But I'm going to take Wisconsin to cover. I'm not betting this game. I'm not confident in this one at all. But I'm going to take Wisconsin to cover. I believe they can keep this game close. What I think the key to their success, or at least to cover, will be defense. Limit the Oregon offense, and you can keep yourselves in this game. And I believe the Wisconsin defense isn't awfully bad. They're not going to get embarrassed like they did versus Alabama. They're going to play Oregon hard. It's going to be under the bright lights in their stadium. They know how important a game like this is and how much they could change their trajectory. They could play spoiler for Oregon, fuck shit up for them, right? Make it a lot closer in the Big Ten. So, Oregon wins, Wisconsin covers. I'm not betting this one, so I could say my lean is Wisconsin +14. But you never know what could happen. You never know what could happen. Next game. Tennessee versus Georgia. I'm going to give my perspective of this game. The biased and the non-biased. I'll start with the biased. Tennessee's going to cover the spread. Tennessee's going to win the game and eliminate Georgia from the college football playoff. Georgia is trash. They suck. They have no offense. Carson Beck is a bum. He's too busy fucking the Cavender twins. He is trash. The guy looks like Sid from Ice Age when he's on crack. However, if we're not taking the biased perspective, Georgia will win this game and Georgia will cover this game. Everything about it points to it. If we're being really honest here, 10 points is too many points. I get it. Georgia's at home. Tennessee is but Tennessee has the better record right now. You would assume they are much lower spread favorites, or spread underdogs, I should say, than 9.5, 10 points. They're giving Georgia a lot of points. And what I've noticed, especially this season, when Georgia is counted out, is when they play their hardest, right? Like what they did against my Texas team a few weeks back, a month ago now, whatever it was. They beat the shit out of them when everybody thought Texas were going to blow them out. It's similar in the sense that now with this big loss to Ole Miss, in the latest CFP rankings, Georgia is first one out in the actual bracket, not the rankings, but you guys know the difference. My pick for this game is Tennessee covers, Tennessee wins. Do not listen to me when it comes to this. I am biased. I want Georgia to lose, and I want Georgia to miss the playoffs because I'm kind of scared of them. I'm not going to lie to you. Georgia scares the fuck out of me. But I maybe I will, maybe I won't. We're going to see how the day's going up until this point. Sprinkle a little something on Tennessee. Only spread, not the money line. I'm not confident that Tennessee wins. I'm okay confident level with Tennessee covering. But in reality, if you want to be a smart gambler, an efficient gambler, you take Georgia to cover. You take Georgia to win. Georgia's probably going to beat the living dog shit out of Tennessee. They're going to come out mad. They're going to come out aggressive. And they're going to kick Tennessee's ass. But I'm a lunatic. I'm biased. And I don't give a fuck about Georgia. I hope they lose every goddamn game for the rest of the season. I got Tennessee to cover. I got Tennessee to win. I pray this pick comes true. That would be something else. Next game. Final game of the day. Kansas versus BYU. And again, the same scenario as last week. BYU is 9-0. Kansas is 3-6. 3-6. This is a home game for BYU. And BYU are 3-point favorites. In some cases, even 2.5-point favorites. Oh my God. I'm going to advise you the same way I advised this game or this kind of game last week. If it's a dog type of game, dog type of week, where there's a lot of upsets, there's a lot of chaos, BYU wins and covers. If it's not, and a lot of favorites win, a lot of favorites cover, BYU is going to lose this game outright. This is so bad. This spread is so bad. Just think to yourselves. BYU is 9-0. Kansas is 3-6. BYU is at home. Why the fuck is Kansas this low of a spread? Why are they 3-point underdogs? 2.5-point underdogs. You guys know I'm going with Kansas. I have to back the team that Vegas is backing. Last week, BYU did not cover, but they won. And even then, I guarantee that costed Vegas a fuck ton. Vegas was rooting for the Utah Utes to win. And what happened? We know what happened. This week will be different. Kansas is going to go into Utah, upset BYU. I believe BYU is a great team. I've watched them a lot this year, but the spread is too sussy-bussy here. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm taking Kansas to win. I'm taking Kansas to cover. I am not betting this game unless a lot of the favorites win in the early slates. Then you take Kansas to win because you know Vegas got to get their lick back some way, somehow. Those are my predictions for Week 12 of the college football season. Let's have a day, baby.